Happy New Year! This is Tiffany Hancock from North Carolina Cooperative Extension, Chatham County Center. We're excited to share that the Growing Chatham podcast has grown by an impressive 266% over the past year. Thanks to your support, we've expanded our listener base with over 700 downloads and listeners from 12 countries tuning in. We appreciate your continued support and enthusiasm for our content. As a reminder, the Growing Chatham podcast features highlights from our Growing Chatham newsletter, making it easy for you to stay informed about what's happening at the Chatham County Center, even when you're short on time. Thank you for tuning in, and we look forward to bringing you even more engaging content in the coming year. Access our newsletter for the latest stories, workshop registrations, and video links by visiting go.ncsu.edu/Growing Chatham 124. Well, let's get started with some general updates. Our office will be closed on the following days, January 1st for New Year's and January 15th for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Chatham County Public Libraries present Winter Reading Bingo, January 2nd through February 29th. Children and teens are invited to participate in the Winter Reading Bingo Challenge at all Chatham County Public Library branches from January 2nd through February 29th. The Winter Reading Bingo Challenge is open to participants ages 2 to 18. Readers join the challenge by picking up a reading bingo sheet at their local library branch and completing a 5-in-a-row bingo to earn a free book, one book per participant while supplies last. All readers who complete at least one bingo will be entered into a drawing for a $50 gift certificate to McIntyre's Books in Farrington Village. For more information about the Winter Reading Bingo Challenge or other events with Chatham County Public Libraries, you may visit the Growing Chatham newsletter where you can access the link. The 2024 Chatham County Spring Ag Fest is returning Saturday, March 23rd, 2024 from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. Discover the fascinating world of agriculture and all that it has to offer. So bring your family along for a day filled with fun and excitement. With a variety of activities available, there's something for everyone. This is a free, family-friendly event. Spring Ag Fest is a celebration of Chatham County's agriculture, forestry, and natural resources. The event will offer something for everyone. Livestock exhibits, demonstrations, food trucks, and more, so you don't want to miss it. Mark those calendars for Saturday, March 23rd, 2024 from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. You can find more details and the latest updates by accessing the link in the Growing Chatham newsletter under General Updates. Visit go.ncsu.edu/Growing Chatham 124. Our 4-H team and 4-Hers have been extremely busy this past year, and 2024 looks to be even busier. So let's find out what's happening with Chatham County 4-H. Are you interested in volunteering for 4-H and hearing about our club wish list? Come and join us at our volunteer interest meeting in January. Now, the specific date has not been set, but it will be posted on our website after the holidays. Bring your friends and let's create some fantastic clubs for the youth of Chatham County. To learn more, you can contact Emily Wyant. The link to her contact information can be found in the Growing Chatham newsletter. This is an important reminder. 4-H Online re-enrollment is approaching. To participate in the 2024 programming, youth must complete re-enrollment. It's a quick and easy process for those already enrolled in 4-H Online. So keep an eye out for the mid-January announcement to ensure uninterrupted participation. Here's a reminder for all 4-H members. Please note that points of success are due soon. For those submitting points of success document, kindly submit it to the Extension office on or before January 17th. If you're working on project record books, kindly submit them on or before January 17th, unless your club leader specifies otherwise. If you need any assistance or further information, feel free to contact the 4-H team or your club leaders. You can find the 4-H team's contact information by visiting the Growing Chatham newsletter. North Carolina 4-H scholarships are available. The North Carolina 4-H program offers scholarships to encourage members to pursue post-secondary education. The following provisions outline the eligibility requirements for these educational scholarships. You must be a current North Carolina 4-H member and a graduating high school senior. You must have a minimum of 3 years of 4-H experience. Recipients must be full-time students. Students must have completed the ACT or the SAT to apply. Completed applications are due to the Extension Office by January 19th. All scholarships will be paid directly to the college or university and will not be made payable to the 4-H member or their parents. You can download the North Carolina 4-H scholarship application directly from the Growing Chatham newsletter. You are invited to Betsy's Bash and 60th Anniversary Celebration, a celebration and fundraising event in support of the Betsy Jeff Penn 4-H Center on Saturday, May 18th, 2024, at the Betsy Jeff Penn 4-H Center from 4 until 8 p.m. at 804 Cedar Lane in Reidsville, North Carolina. This second annual celebration and fundraising event will honor the legacy and impact of Mrs. Betsy Penn and her vision for a 4-H center focused solely on the health, well-being, and education of the youth of North Carolina. Your $50 event ticket will include a meal, s'mores dessert, adult beverages, and live music from Sassafras Bluegrass Band. All proceeds from the event will support the Betsy Jeff Penn 4-H Center. Tickets and sponsorships can be purchased by clicking on the link in the Growing Chatham newsletter. This event will be held rain or shine. Save the date for 4-H Achievement Night, celebrating the great wins and the amazing hard work of our 4-H clubs, youth, and volunteers throughout 2023. We hope to see you there on March the 8th, 2024 at the Chatham County Agriculture and Conference Center. More details will be made available closer to the event, so be sure to mark your calendars for March the 8th, 2024 for 4-H Achievement Night. 4-H Kids Zone coming to the Spring Gag Fest. Be sure to mark your calendars for the 2024 Chatham County Spring Gag Fest. It will take place on Saturday, March 23, 2024, from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Chatham County Agriculture and Conference Center. For the first time ever, there will be a dedicated Kids Zone hosted by Chatham County 4-H. There will be lots of engaging and educational fun to be had for all ages. We can't wait to see you there. Come on out to the Chatham County Agriculture and Conference Center on March 23rd, 2024 from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. and have a ball at the Chatham County Spring Gag Fest. On December 15th, Chatham County 4-H hosted holiday festivities, and it was a sweet and sticky success. We had so many expertly decorated gingerbread houses from our 4-Hers in attendance. It looked like the North Pole had come to Chatham County. You can check out all the fun that we had in the video that you can find in the Growing Chatham newsletter. Watch the youth work together as they create their gingerbread masterpieces. Coming Saturday, January 13th, it's North Central District Winterfest, hosted by the Guilford County Extension Center at 3309 Burlington Road in Greensboro. Winterfest starts at 9 a.m. and runs until 3 p.m. The cost is $25 per person. Winterfest is now open to 4-Hers ages 11 through 18. So join us this Winterfest for an exciting opportunity to give back to the community. During Winterfest, you'll be making popsicle stick snowflakes to decorate assisted living homes. And 4-H district officers challenge every county in our district to bring new, fuzzy, grippy socks to share with our neighbors. So don't forget, the non-skid bottom is a must because our seniors will be wearing these socks. I don't think the seniors would like to go skating across the floor, so please make sure they have grips on the bottom of these nice, warm socks. The county that brings the most pairs of non-skid fuzzy socks will receive a special award from our district office team. After the morning activity, you'll then head over to the Greensboro Ice House for group ice skating, so be sure to dress for the cold weather. Registration must be submitted by January 5th, so hurry, you do not have a lot of time. You can find the registration link in the Growing Chatham newsletter by visiting go.ncsu.edu/Growing Chatham 124. As you can tell, the 4-H team has been busy, and they do have a busy 2024 planned. That wraps up the 4-H news. Now we're going to move on to our horticulture news from Extension Agent Matt Jones. Coming up, it's an Extension Gardener workshop. Tree identification in winter. Correct identification is a critical first step in making management decisions for any plant. In the landscape or garden, identification of tree species is of particular interest for landowners managing woodlands for wildlife or timber, for farmers with livestock browsing nearby potentially toxic species, and for naturalists seeking to enhance their familiarity with native trees. So join Matt Jones, Extension Horticulture Agent, and the Master Gardener volunteers of Chatham County for a lecture and hands-on workshop on winter botany for landowners, landscapers, farmers, park managers, naturalists, and anyone curious about trees. Participants will learn about the types of tree characters used for identification, as well as how to use free online tools such as dichotomous keys from North Carolina State University. Gain experience through both guided and individual practice identifying provided native tree samples. There are 2 identical sessions of this workshop that are available to accommodate your schedule. These workshops will be held on Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. The first workshop will be held from 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. The second workshop will be held that evening from 5:30 until 8:30 p.m. The workshop costs $12 per person, which includes a 10 times hand lens, and light refreshments will be provided for all participants. Registration and fee payment is required by January 15th, 2024. You can select a time and click on the register link in the Growing Chatham newsletter. Additional classes may be offered if there is sufficient demand. If spaces are full, add your name to the wait list on the registration page. Now, both workshops will be held at the Chatham County Agriculture and Conference Center at 1192 US 64 West Business in Pittsburgh. These classes are part of the Extension Gardener series of workshops that are open to everyone. It is also part of the Extension Master Gardener program. Want more information about becoming a Master Gardener volunteer in Chatham County? Just click on the link in the Growing Chatham newsletter. Now that January is here, you never know what the weather will be like in North Carolina. One year it could be warm and rainy. The next year it could be cold and snowy or even icy. Matt Jones shares with us an article, Preventing and Managing Ice and Snow Damage to Landscape Plants. Preparing landscapes for snow and ice. Snow in the Carolinas is often heavy, piling up on plants, sometimes breaking limbs and branches. What to do before the storm to minimize damage? Select resilient plants that are resistant to wind damage. Tie up narrow, upright evergreens with multiple leaders to prevent breakage and splaying. Avoid using sodium chloride-based de-icing salts. Prune for structural strength and durability. Recovery from snow and ice damage. Remove snow from shrubs. Begin at the bottom of the plant, sweeping the snow off the branches with a broom. Access damage. If only small limbs and twigs are damaged, the tree will likely make a full recovery on its own. Prune and care for trees and shrubs damaged by ice. A series of guides to explain when to prune, where to cut, what tools to use, and how much to remove. Avoid removing more limbs than necessary, which reduces the tree's ability to feed itself through photosynthesis. When to hire an arborist, stay safe. Never cut limbs tangled in power lines. Call the power company instead. You can access the complete article and explore the resources provided throughout the article. Here's another Extension Gardener webinar, Vegetable Seed Starting. Growing your own vegetable transplants from seed can give you a head start on the growing season and access to varieties not commonly found and as transplants at garden centers. Join Matt Jones, Extension Horticulture Agent, for a hands-on workshop on planting and establishing vegetables from seed. Participants will learn about seed biology, vegetable variety selection, growing media, containers, growing conditions, and diagnosing common problems. Following the lecture, participants get to practice planting seeds and transplants to take home. The workshop costs $10 to cover materials, expenses, and refreshments. 2 identical sessions of this workshop are available to accommodate your schedule. Tuesday, February 13th, 2024, from 9:30 a.m. until 12 p.m. Then on Tuesday, February 13th, 2023, from 5:30 p.m. until 8 p.m. You can click on the links in the Growing Chatham newsletter to register. This month, Matt highlights the plant Ilex verticillata. I'd like to share with you an audio clip from a video from North Carolina State University about the winterberry holly.
Ilex verticillata, or winterberry. Unlike many other hollies used in the landscape, winterberry is deciduous. It's a large shrub that gets 6 to 10 feet tall with a rounded habit. Sometimes it can get even upwards of 15 feet tall. It looks best when planted in a mass. It is a multi-trunk shrub with cane-like growth. Ilex verticillata often forms large clumps or masses as it tends to sucker. The leaves can be quite variable in size and shape, but tend to be elliptic to oblanceolate. The apex of the leaf is quite variable, although in some cases it can be acuminate. A more helpful characteristic of the leaves is that the veins are what we call impressed. They seem to be sunken into the top of the leaf. Of course, it is easier to tell this plant when the fruits are present. The red berries encircle the twig on very short pedicels, so it almost looks as if they attach directly to the twig. Because Ilex verticillata is a holly, it is dioecious, which means there are separate male and female plants. Only the females will produce fruits. Typical flower of Ilex verticillata. It's small, with white petals, and again has very short pedicels so as to hold it close to the twig. The bright red berries of Ilex verticillata begin to form on the branches even before it loses its leaves for the winter. Once the leaves fall off for the winter, it's quite striking to see the massive amounts of red fruits on the branches of this plant. Because the fruits seem to be whorled around the twigs, it has the specific epithet verticillata, because the fruits appear to be verticillate around the twigs. Most Ilex verticillata have bright red berries, but there are cultivars with more orangish or golden colored berries. NC State University has recently released a cultivar of Ilex verticillata known as Little Goblin. Little Goblin differs from the typical species because it has larger berries than most, and it is a dwarf cultivar, which means that it's only going to get 3 to 5 feet tall. This is a nice addition to the landscape if you don't have enough room for a full-size Ilex verticillata. And so with that, we conclude our discussion of Ilex verticillata, the winterberry.
You can see this video in the Growing Chatham newsletter, or you can visit the Plant Toolbox to learn more about the Ilex verticillata, or better known as the winterberry holly, by visiting go.ncsu.edu/growingchatham124. From the winterberry to the pollinator garden, Extension Agent Debbie Roos is celebrating. Let's find out what the celebration is all about. 2023 marked the 15-year anniversary of North Carolina Cooperative Extension's Pollinator Paradise Demonstration Garden at Chatham Mills in Pittsburgh. Debbie had no idea when she planted this garden in 2008 of the impact it would have on her, the community, and the pollinators. She's thankful to the many volunteers who have helped her along the way, and you can read more about this by clicking on the link in the Growing Chatham newsletter, where you can check out the before and after photos. Debbie also shares with us some late fall snapshots from Extension's Pollinator Paradise Garden. In late fall, we can still have dozens of species still in bloom in the pollinator garden. And it's a time when the asters, native grasses, and dried seed heads really shine. We let all the plants stand through the winter to provide benefits to wildlife, says Debbie. She posted some of her favorite snapshots from late fall in Cooperative Extension's Pollinator Paradise Demonstration Garden on her Growing Small Farms website. You can click on the link in the Growing Chatham newsletter to see those fall snapshots. You can also click on the link for the seasonal photo collections. You can now view the recording of North Carolina State Extension webinar on farm planning resources. A team of North Carolina State Extension agents and specialists conducted a webinar in December to introduce participants to a variety of farm planning resources, including North Carolina Farm School, North Carolina Farm Planning Portal, Small Farm Boot Camp, North Carolina Farm Link, Farm Law for Producers and Landowners Portal, and the Growing Small Farms Portal. You can view the webinar by visiting the Growing Chatham newsletter. Visit our farmers markets in January. Even in winter, you can still visit our Chatham County farmers markets for the best local produce, meats, value-added products, and more. These markets are opened in January. Chatham Mills Farmers Market is opened on Saturdays from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. Farrington Farmers Market is open on Tuesdays from 3 until 5 p.m. Pittsburgh Farmers Market is opened on Thursdays from 3 until 6 p.m. You can click on the link in the Growing Chatham newsletter to each individual farmers market for more details about what they offer or special events that may be happening at their location. Just visit the Growing Chatham newsletter at go.ncsu.edu/Growing Chatham 124. We are moving on to livestock news. The North Carolina Small Ruminant Improvement Program Winter Webinar Series is coming up. We are thrilled to announce that registration is now open for our 2023-2024 Winter Webinar Series. Join producers and specialists from across the Southeast for engaging panel discussions. To secure your spot, you can click on the flyer that you can find in the Growing Chatham newsletter, and you'll be redirected to the registration page for the various webinars. Conservation Stewardship Program information added to the North Carolina State Dairy Portal. North Carolina State Dairy Extension hosted a Zoom information session on NRCS's Conservation Stewardship Program on December 13th, 2023. The handouts, slide decks, and a recording of the presentation is now available. You can access that link in the Growing Chatham newsletter. North Carolina Farm School starts February 2024 in Randolph County. North Carolina Farm School is a unique strategic business planning program for aspiring, new, or transitioning farmers. Its mission is to increase the number of successful farms in North Carolina. Farm School is a blend of classroom activities and field days. You can apply now to join by clicking on the link in the Growing Chatham newsletter by visiting go.ncsu.edu/Growing Chatham 124. Here are some forestry updates from Dr. Ginger Cunningham. Ayers Property Summits. North Carolina State teams up with North Carolina A&T for this education series. Under a USDA Risk Management Agency sub-award from Alcorn State University in Mississippi, North Carolina State is partnering with North Carolina A&T for an education series across North Carolina to be held throughout winter and spring of 2024. The initiative results from an increased interest and awareness of heirs property resolution. Heirs property is generally defined as a parcel of real property owned by individuals with fractional undivided interests, each of whom have inherited their interest from an ancestor, the original owner, or a descendant of the same under a state's intestacy law, which distributes interest in property in the absence of a last will and testament. Because of the fractionalized ownership, often with interest owned by unknown or hard-to-locate individuals, effective management and disposition of the land is often hindered in that it cannot be encumbered for a loan, such as for farming purposes, or sold with a clear title without 100% agreement of all interest owners. For more information regarding session dates and locations and registrations info, click on the link in the Growing Chatham newsletter. Are you thinking about selling timber? Learning from experience can be very expensive when it comes to timber sales. Years of growth and value are accumulated in a mature timber stand, and the combined annual income from all those years is frequently marketed in a single transaction. When and how you sell your timber can influence how much money you make, your overall financial plans, the cost of forest regeneration, and other management objectives. You could check out the resources from North Carolina State Extension forestry professionals to help you become better informed on selling timber by clicking on the link in the Growing Chatham newsletter. Just visit go.ncsu.edu/Growing Chatham 124. Family and Consumer Sciences agent Tara Gregory is spicing things up, introducing a new Cuisines Around the World highlight for 2024. Vietnamese cuisine, a mosaic of flavors and techniques, tell a story of cultural diversity across 3 culinary regions. In the north, light and balanced flavors are the focus, with an emphasis on fresh ingredients like fish and prawns. The central region spices things up, showcasing bold flavors using chili peppers and shrimp paste to flavor many dishes. The south, a tropical haven, burst with sweet and savory delights, driven by abundant fruits, vegetables, and seafood. Freshness is a cornerstone of Vietnamese cooking, with vegetables often consumed raw or lightly cooked through boiling or stir-frying. Little dairy is used, and rice takes the spotlight as a main staple at the table. What sets Vietnamese cuisine apart is its balance of heating and cooling properties in ingredients, aligning with traditional Vietnamese medicine principles. This thoughtful approach to food reflects a cultural connection to well-being. Vietnamese family meals are a shared experience, emphasizing equality with round tables, serving dishes in communal trays. There's no head of the table, and food is served in common dishes, fostering togetherness. In rural areas, meals are usually enjoyed on mats with a large tray, while urban settings often opt for tables and chairs. Daily meals feature rice and 4 side dishes, and chopsticks are the utensil of choice. Through the artful use of fresh ingredients, a variety of textures, and delicate balance of flavors, Vietnamese cuisine captivates and delights food enthusiasts around the world. Here's a recipe you can try. It's ginger braised chicken for a taste of Vietnamese cuisine. You can find that recipe in the Growing Chatham newsletter. Extension at Home webinar series has returned for 2024. Looking for a way to learn about nutrition, physical activity, health, and wellness topics from home? Family and Consumer Sciences agents from around the region are teaming up to offer monthly webinars covering a variety of topics. Registration is free. If you are not able to log in at noon, you can view the recording that will be sent to all registered participants. Find a comfortable spot and join the classes from home. The Lunch and Learn series will be held on the second Tuesday of the month, starting at 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So come join us and empower yourself with information that is important to you. The January 9th class is Meal Prep 101. You can find out more by visiting the Growing Chatham newsletter and clicking on the Extension at Home flyer, where you can register for each session. The Pittsburgh Farmers Market is now accepting SNAP and EBT. The kickoff event starts January 25th, so you can now use EBT card for local foods at the Pittsburgh Farmers Market, year-round on Thursdays from 3 until 6 p.m. You can find them at the plant at 220 Lorax Lane in Pittsburgh. So head on over to the Pittsburgh Farmers Market on January 25th, starting at 3 p.m. It's a new year, so why not make your financial goals SMART goals? Brandy King, Administrative Assistant, shares with us SMART goals. When we have trouble achieving our goals, sometimes the problem isn't our willpower or our effort, but the goal itself. So make your goals work for you by setting SMART goals. SMART goals are specific, measurable, action-oriented, realistic, and time-bound. You can download the SMART goals in the PDF format so that you can set your SMART goal when you visit the Growing Chatham newsletter. the growing Chatham history lesson. Chatham County Century Farms, Stories from the Farm. Not too long ago, Chatham County was a farming county that produced a wide variety of crops such as tobacco, cotton, soybeans, and vegetables. The county was also known for its thriving dairy and poultry farms. Unfortunately, many farm families have disappeared over the years due to a variety of reasons. However, a few family farms, including some that are over a century old, continue to operate today and carry on the county's rich agricultural heritage. Chatham County Century Farms, Stories from the Farm. Get ready to dive into a collection of captivating short stories from our Century Farms. Join us on a journey to meet the resilient families that have maintained and cultivated the very same farms that their ancestors established over 100 years ago. Experience their tales firsthand and witness the rich history of these farms being preserved for future generations to come. Tracing the roots of the Norwood family farm, a story of generational succession. This month we're highlighting the Norwood family farm in our new series, Chatham County Farms, Stories from the Farm. Britt Norwood and his sister Lenora Norwood Ingle give us an inside look into their family lineage and how the farm has been passed down through the generations.
The farm actually came into the Norwood family in the late 1700s. William Norwood moved here from Surrey County, Virginia to Northampton County. And he sold, when Chatham County was formed, he sold the land he had in Northampton County and moved to Chatham County. And this was all part of the farm that he had. It was about 1,600 acres. And it went all the way from here down Lamont Norwood Road, across Man's Chapel Road, and then went on across Andrew Store Road and went to Parker Herndon Road. So he had all the land from Parker Herndon Road through the woods to here. He died in 1825. He was buried in Parker Herndon Road. He had 10 children. His land was all divided among children. And David Norwood got from here down to Man's Chapel Road, across where Lamont, all that was David Norwood's land. And then David died. His son, George Washington Norwood, or G.W. Norwood, got this actual farm. And that was in 1872. G.W. sold the land to Benjamin Franklin Snipes. Benjamin Franklin Snipes was our great-granddaddy on our grandmother's side. Benjamin Franklin Snipes turned around and sold it to A.R. Norwood, and that was in 1886, on February the 9th, 1886. So A.R. Norwood was G.W. Norwood's nephew. So G.W. sold it to Benjamin Franklin, who was A.R.'s wife's daddy, was his dad-in-law. And he bought it back from his dad-in-law when he got married. And so then Lenora, and he sold it to Lenora, and I never did figure out why that was.
I wondered about that too. I wondered, could there have been a tax reason in those days? Taxes weren't so complicated, but I wondered if
In 1899. A.R. Norwood sold it to Lenora.
I've heard that, yeah. I wondered what was.
And I don't know why that was done, but then when she died is when Daddy and Uncle Grady got it. And
They
then
inherited it.
they inherited it when she died. And then her brother, Dr. Phil Snipes, down in Sanford, had some land down there. He was a doctor and a pharmacist and run the drugstore and had a doctor's office upstairs. And he had some land down there. And when he died, Daddy and Uncle Grady got that land. So they sold that land and gave the money to Uncle Grady to buy the farm down on Tobacco Road. And so Uncle Grady then sold his part of this farm to Daddy. That's how Daddy wound up with this. My Grady got the farm on Tobacco Road.
How many acres do you have there?
It was 193 in the farm at that point.
Yeah.
When Daddy died, we had to have some money to pay for funeral expenses in the hospital to carry on. And we sold 17 acres to Dr. Harris, who developed Indian landing over there. He had about 400 acres over there, didn't have any road. So we sold him 17 acres to get him out to the road.
Yeah.
He was glad to get it, and we were glad to get it.
We will continue this series next month when we find out more about the Norwood family farm. Thanks for tuning in to this month's edition of Growing Chatham. Stay tuned for even more highlights in February. Until then, we'd like to wish you a Happy New Year and a fantastic January. This is Tiffany Hancock from North Carolina Cooperative Extension Chatham County Center.